Welcome to Real Life 101, the show where we meet real people doing their real jobs. Today we'll introduce you to the world of pediatric speech and language pathology and see how this can be a rewarding career for people who love to work with children. Then we'll get the scoop on the daily routine of a newspaper's business news reporter. We'll also take you to a home that is being given a beautiful addition of an outdoor living area. Wait until you see what the builder designed. So stay glued to that TV set right now and join me, Jillian, as we get rolling on Real Life 101. Hit it, guys. We're the hosts of Real Life 101. Did you know that the ability of a newborn baby to nurse correctly can be an indication of future speech problems? Well, there are also many other factors that affect a child's ability to communicate, such as autism and head trauma. Lewis visited with Merck O'Grady, a pediatric speech and language pathologist, and witnessed the passion she has for helping children in their development.
So this is a very colorful room. It matches my shirt.
Yeah, you do match it well. Yes, it's a very colorful room. We work with children here, young children, so we try to make it as fun and exciting as possible for them.
Wow. Can you tell me about what you do?
Yeah, I'm a speech and language pathologist, and what I do is, speech and language pathologists can work with either adults or children in helping them communicate. If they're having any kind of difficulties communicating, then we can find them alternative methods such as sign language and or pictures to communicate their wants and needs.
Do you only work with children?
I do. I work with children. Usually a speech pathologist will specialize either with children or adults. There's a big variety of things that you can do. There's some speech pathologists even work with actors to help them to change their voice for different roles. Yes.
How many kids do you work with?
I probably work with about 20 children, and I see them either once or twice a week, and sometimes a few, maybe more.
Is it a stressful job?
No, it's really fun. We have a really good time because the kids, we have to set up so it's really fun and they feel really good about it, and learning's fun and successful. We stay happy most of the day because we're playing with them all day long. So even though we're challenging them, we try to keep it really fun. That's why we have the ball pit and the swings and rock climbing walls to make it really fun for them.
How about your educational background? Can you tell me about it?
Well, to be a speech language pathologist, you have to have a bachelor's, and then you have to hold a master's within a few years of that to work. You also have to do a clinical internships and have to have about 350 hours worth of supervision.
Wow. What do you love the most about your job?
I love the families that I work with. They're great. The children, they're fun. They have a really good time. Even though we're really challenging and pushing them to do different things, we keep it really fun. It's an all day of playing and having a really good time with them.
Wow. What do you use for a kid that has problems speaking or something? What kind of games do you use?
Well, a lot of times we use the games as reinforcement. So we ask them to do certain things or try to say different sounds or sounds within words, and then also put those words together in sentences. And then we use the games as a reinforcer to motivate them to want to do it.
Wow. Sounds like a fun job.
It is really fun.
So tell me, why do you want to become a speech pathologist?
I like speech pathology because of the different disorders that affect children, and I like working with the families and helping them to find the best way for their children to communicate. If you really knew me, you know that I just love to help children, both socially and emotionally, and that's been a real desire of mine, is to help the children, help the families.
Wow. What special skills do you need for this job?
It depends. There's different specialization areas. I work with oromotor and feeding difficulties, which is sometimes the weak muscles of the mouth that contribute to feeding difficulties. And so we work with young children that have difficulties with eating, and or infants that are having a hard time eating.
So I understand you have a little boy coming in. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Yes, little boy's name is Danny, and Danny, he's an amazing kid. He's really fun. He's got a great personality. Danny has autism, so he has difficulties communicating. So he uses a little bit of both sign language and what we say verbalizing or talking.
Oh, wow.
It's really interesting, and he can request things that he wants to do and tell you how he's feeling, and you'll get a chance to see him doing that.
Oh, can we go meet him?
Yes, let's go. Go! Okay, here we go. Go! Woohoo! Yay! Danny, what is this? Shoes, that's right. You're so smart. High five, buddy. All right, what's the next one? What is this? Ice cream. Do you like ice cream? Danny, do you like ice cream? Yes? Say yes. Say I like ice cream. That's right. Okay, here's the next one. Danny, what is this?
Baby.
A baby. And what does a baby do? The baby says, wah.
Was it hard to learn sign language?
Sign language is not really that hard to learn because a lot of the words end up looking like they are. Danny has an extensive vocabulary. He's got a really large vocabulary, and his sign language has actually helped him to speak. He knew the sign language prior to speaking, so it's actually helped to elicit his speech. So it's been amazing.
Well, thank you so much. It was great learning about speech pathology.
Thanks for coming.
Now, do I get a chance to go on the zip line?
Absolutely. Let me go get it.
As you can see, pediatric speech and language pathologists have a very challenging but emotionally fulfilling career. Pediatric SLPs, as they're called for short, typically work in schools, outpatient clinics, private practices, or other healthcare settings. To enter this career, one must have a sincere interest in helping people, good intellectual aptitude, sensitivity, patience, and persistence. The requirements to be a speech and language pathologist vary from state to state and according to the setting in which you work. A master's degree is required for this career. Additionally, there are licensing and certification requirements.
Well, I'm gonna have some fun. You guys take a commercial break. Well, I'm ready to get out. Let's go see some more Real Life 101.
Business news. Ugh, how boring. Or so I thought until I was enlightened by our next career. Have you heard the latest reports about YouTube and Facebook? Or the advancements happening with the new electronics and phones that some of you lucky ones out there carry in your pockets? Or how the prices are coming down so more of us can carry them? The world of business news is a lot more than Wall Street and mergers. It's about how our world is influenced by what's happening all around us, as Carly found out when she chatted with Sarah Clark, a business news reporter from the Orlando Sentinel.
Now, it says that you are a business reporter. What does your job entail?
Basically, I write stories for the newspaper and for online about local businesses. I cover small business, which is any company that has less than 500 employees. And half of people who work in the private sector actually work for a small business. So even though they're called small, they have a big impact on the economy.
What kind of businesses fall into that category of less than 500 employees?
Well, a lot of the ones that we focus on are sort of your mom and pop shops that you might see on Main Street. So if your neighbor were to decide to start his own business, that would be under my beat as a small business owner. So in Orlando, a lot of those businesses are technology companies. We also have someone who reports on technology though, but in our area, that's what a lot of them are.
So I see that you have a newsletter online. How does that work?
Basically, our business staff here comes in the morning and they start reporting right away. They file stories over to the editors and I put them into this online newsletter that goes out to people in the local business community before lunch, gets them ready for their business lunch, and tells them everything they need to know about the business community that day.
What made you want to become a business reporter?
Well, I have always liked to find out new information, and when you're a journalist, you get to explore different things every day, which is a really cool part of the job. In terms of business, I like business because a lot of people think it's very boring stuff. It's the stock market, and it's mergers and acquisitions. In my opinion, business news is about two things, and it's two things that everybody cares about: people and money. Put those together and you have companies doing things that influence people, that make money, and so that is why I like business news.
So what is your educational background?
Well, I studied journalism at a school in Maryland, the University of Maryland, and I also did several internships as I was going through school. Started out at a weekly newspaper, moved up to a daily newspaper, and worked at a couple of those before I got my first real job. Also worked through my school covering the legislature in Maryland, so that was a really good experience.
What kind of hours do you work?
Whenever you get into journalism, you're going to work a lot of crazy hours. News happens all the time, so somebody's got to be available all the time to cover it. That's one of, I would say, the downsides of the job. You know, your friends may be getting out of work at 5 o'clock. They work their 9 to 5, and they're going home and they're going out to eat, whatever. And you may still be here because the story broke late. But it's a breaking story, and it's exciting, and you're having a lot of fun covering it. So the hours vary.
This seems to be a very busy place to work. Does it ever confuse you? Does it ever throw you off? Because there's so much going on here.
Well, it definitely is a lot of things going on all the time, and we're obviously in pretty close quarters here. But it's a good thing, because if one of the people next to me is doing a story and I might have some input on that, I can let them know, and we always know what we're working on for the paper next day. So nobody is working alone to put out the paper, so it's really good that we have a situation where we can sort of work as a team.
What is one thing that you really love about your job?
What I like about my job is that it's not the same thing every day. Every day I come in and I could be doing something completely different than the day before. So you really get to learn a lot of new things. As I'm reporting, I'm learning stuff. So it's really exciting. Every day is something different.
How do you deal with deadlines?
Deadlines are a really tricky part of the business, because you have certain things that need to get done at a certain time, and if they're not, bad things happen. With our newsletter every day, we have to get it out at 11:20, and if we don't, we're going to send out information that's wrong to our readers. So you really just have to focus on what you need to do, and you have to try not to get distracted and get the job done when it needs to get done.
And do you have any advice for anyone who wants to get into this field?
I definitely do. This is a field where you need experience, and you need to be able to prove to people that are hiring you what you can do. So the first thing you want to do if you want to get into journalism is start writing for something somewhere. Your school newspaper, a local newspaper. Even if you have to do it for free, you need to establish published works that you can show to people to say, hey, I can do this.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much. This has been very informative.
Thanks, it's been my pleasure.
Business and financial news reporting is one of the fastest growing areas of journalism because it is so relevant to all of us, whether we are teenagers or retirees. As with any form of journalism, the experience writing and interning you have is very important, in addition to a college degree. Having a broad knowledge of the business, financial, technological, and consumer fields is also important. If you're interested in becoming a business news reporter, contact your local newspaper and ask to intern or volunteer in that department.
You guys check out a commercial break while I check out being a reporter. There's more real life coming up right now.
Have you always enjoyed tinkering with building? Maybe even with Lincoln logs or even making a tree house? Do you like watching new houses be constructed and envision how you would do it yourself? How about considering a career in home building and renovation? Lewis saw the ideas of building contractor Rick Jennings come alive as he visited a home to which Rick was adding an outdoor living space.
So tell me, Rick, how long have you been doing this for?
Well, all my life, Lewis. Yeah, my dad was a builder, and so I kind of grew up in the business and have been building on my own since 1980.
Oh, wow. So it's a family business then.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me, do you go to school for this?
Well, there's the School of Hard Knocks is the best way to learn the business. However, there are classes that you can take through college. There is a 4-year degree in construction at many of the state schools available.
So tell me, what is exactly that you do? Do you build houses? What is it that you do?
Well, we're a design-build contractor, so when we have an owner who has either a new home or an existing home and wants to expand, or their family style has changed and they want a bigger house, we meet with them, help them design the home, plan it, develop the architectural plans, which is what we always have to build by, and go through a process whereby we start construction and build through the whole house and into completion.
Oh, wow. So do you own your company or do you work for a company?
I'm the manager of Nautilus Homes.
Oh,
we're,
wow.
we're a building company that specializes in custom homes and remodeling.
If I want to do an addition in my house, what is the process?
For us, the planning stage comes first always, because if you have a home, for instance this home, the people wanted to have a backyard expansion. So they've added a pool, outdoor gazebo areas. This particular area will have cedar beam ceilings and an outdoor fireplace, as you see. So it's basically outdoor space that can be used right off the pool deck. It brings the outside into a living area atmosphere.
Is this a big project?
Oh yeah, this process will take 8 to 9 months of construction and another 3 or 4 months of planning.
What do you love the most about your job?
Taking something from a piece of paper in a planning stage all the way through to fruition, which hopefully your client's happy and it's exactly what they're looking for.
Is there a downside of your job?
Well, it's frustrating. We deal with a lot of subcontractor trades, and that's always very difficult when you're at the mercy of somebody else doing the physical work. Yeah. We are general managers more than anything, and so we manage the construction process, but most of the work is actually done by trade contractors that are our subcontractors and suppliers.
Wow. Tell me about the specific skills that you need for this profession.
Well, organization is probably the biggest thing. There's a systematic process to building. You have to start with a foundation, then the rough structure, then the roofing, then the finished product. So there's a sequence of events that has to happen. One has to happen before anything else can happen. Okay. So that you can't build the roof before you build the foundation, right? So you have to start from the basics and work your way up. So there is a logical process that goes through. And that's part of scheduling and making sure that you stay on top of your trade contractors and making sure they do what they say they're going to do and when they say it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone interested in construction?
Well, there are many programs in high schools now that are educational programs. Construction's a very good living, unlike maybe what it was considered 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And today, a lot of the state schools, including Florida and UCF, have actual construction degrees, 4-year degrees in construction. So it's a very viable business to go into and can be very enjoyable, and you make a decent living.
So can you show me the plans?
Absolutely. This is the plans for the project you're looking at here. And architectural plans are designed so that each of the trade contractors knows what he's going to be building. For instance, we're standing right here. Okay. So this gazebo area is this design here. You see the existing home is back there. This was the area we were before, where we have the outdoor, what we call outdoor living area, where the fireplace was. And all across here you can see that kitchen area and visualize it a little bit better as to how it's going to go into that place. So you can see a lot of the wishes of the homeowner were able to be incorporated in here. And of course we're dealing with an existing home site, so we have to build within that parameter of the property. So this was all designed to fit within that space.
Wow, that's very amazing. Well, thank you, Rick.
All right, Louis. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
All right.
Many contractors such as Rick do both new homes and remodeling. This is a good way to keep business going even when real estate is in a slump. Instead of trying to sell their house in a down market, many homeowners employ a building contractor to expand or remodel their existing home to fit their growing needs. Building contractors enter the trade through many arenas. Many get their experience through working in the industry as laborers or subcontractors. Some get college degrees in a construction-related field. Apprenticeships are also a great way to learn the trade. The U.S. Department of Labor has information on apprenticeships that provide on-the-job training along with classroom instruction.
Well, I'm taking a break from all this hard work. You guys take a break too. I'll be waiting for you guys. I'm glad you're back.
I can't believe it's already time to say goodbye. Well, we sure enjoyed having you with us today and look forward to bringing you another great show next week. Join us as we meet with a mortgage banker and find out how to get the money needed to build or buy a house, or for a remodel like we were just talking about. Then we'll meet with a lady who helps others cope with life in her profession as a mental health counselor. We'll also meet with a woman who has found satisfaction in her career working in the law profession as a paralegal. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Real Life 101. We'll once again ask the question, what do you want to do with your life?